The man cheated and won 18 million, but after being caught. But instead of making him pay, he was asked to keep playing. But this time, everyone had to cheat on the dice. The man's mouth cracked in a smile until he was old and tired. Because even if they lost, they only had to pay over 1 million yuan, which was far more expensive than giving up all their assets. Just as the class monitor had gone through 2 rounds of testing, it has been confirmed that Keith was unaware of the existence of the cheating dice. Even if the opponent tries to snatch the dice, regardless of the number of people or the distance, they all have absolute advantages, as the last die is about to stop. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the knight. Unaware that Case had made a move, he grabbed the dice in the palace bowl as if he had grasped the divine timing. Seeing this, Hayakawa rushed forward. He pressed the filament to the ground. Zhao Kuan kept swinging his abdomen. He was still cursing angrily. He lacks martial ethics. This sentence directly angered Caius, giving him a real punch. Solid drive him back just as he was about to reveal the truth. The class monitor behind him quickly rushed forward while keeping his mouth shut. The 3 of them kept snatching the dice from his hands. Kai spit hard to break open the palm that was searching for a hole. Then he told everyone that the dice for cheating by the class monitor were in his hands. This really scared the class monitor. He didn't care about everyone's gaze either. He desperately moved Case's fists. Fortunately, the class monitor next door arrived just in time. Only then did Case get free. When he got the cheating dice, only then did he realize the dice were only 4, 5, and 6. Seeing that the truth had been exposed, the 3 class monitors immediately knelt on the ground begging for mercy. He also said that this was his first time using it because he hadn't made any point on his own in the previous 2 times. That is why I was so blinded by this twisted idea. Seeing that everyone was about to be convinced by Caius, he immediately took out Sanhao's notes. He exposed the hypocritical true nature of the class monitor. Each round of the class monitor was recorded on it, and in every crucial game, he always uses a big suit. The odds are just too unbelievable. But Keith still admired the class monitor's intelligence, because the 456 dice can only be made with 456. You can also create suit 4S and 5S, giving your opponent a chance to win. This is a perfect smokescreen in the game, and in the previous 2 games where Keith had 1 loss and 1 win, all to lure out the Swan squad leader, the old fox, he first used heavy pillars to awaken the opponent's suspicion, so much so that he didn't dare to casually use cheating dice. You can see this from his reaction after making the dice. Ordinary people would stare at the bubble after making the dice. On the contrary, after making it, the class monitor stared intently at his actions. This is completely unreasonable for gambling. Then Kaisi took advantage of the situation. This can confirm whether the class monitor used cheating dice. Otherwise, he attacks at will, leaving nothing behind. With Casey's well-founded analysis, even though the class monitor kept explaining it was useless, he cheated. It was already a done deal, and facing the co-workers' accusations and angry insults, the class monitor knelt on the ground, constantly thinking about ways to break through. Suddenly, a bold idea burst from his mind.
I still go back. I still don't go out.
I am still unsuccessful. I am still unsuccessful. I still haven't succeeded.
I'm still unsuccessful.
I never expected the class monitor to come up with such a twisted logic. This only fueled the anger of the co-workers. They desperately threw beer bottles at the 3 of them, but unexpectedly, Kais reached out and interrupted everyone, and said that what he said was flawless at all. Squad leader said Sujian. As if grasping at a lifeline, he suggested to Case that he start over. This time, he would definitely use ordinary dice. Keith said, "You are cheating every joke you make. How can we start over? But keep gambling. He could consider it." As soon as these words were spoken, the whole room fell silent. No one understood what Cass was up to. The class monitor kept cheating on dice to win, so Keith must pay the price for the punishment. That is, his points in this round become the smallest to shoot. The 6 of them also used special dice to compete with him. The class monitor's mouth split open at Wenting's words. This rule was way too easy on him. Even if each of them made 4, 5, or 6, they would only have to pay over 1 million in compensation. This solves the problem. As long as we escape this calamity, just play dumb and act dumb in a daze. It was as if he had grasped a lifeline. But the moment Keith rolled the dice, the class monitor's eyes nearly widened. The class monitor picked up the dice nervously, only to find that all 3 dice had 1 on all 6 sides. He absolutely refuses to acknowledge the existence of such dice. However, Keith stated that they had already confirmed with him in advance. They also cheat dice to place bets. He never said he used 456 dice. Next, his companions would take turns using it, and the class monitor at Wenting's words was completely stunned. He jumped up and down to protest to Cass. However, no one took the side of the cheater to welcome him. There was only merciless insults and accusations. Seeing the situation escalate further, the class monitor also realized the situation was lost. lost, so he could only reluctantly agree. Kisses request the next. Kais and his group consecutively spent 60 cards to force a move. Their assets from 500,000 grew to 2.5 million. At this point, the squad leader was drenched in sweat. He had no choice but to open his little slush in front of everyone. What greeted him was a box full of money, filled with anger and unwillingness. He compensated Kais with the money. Just as the class monitor was about to leave, Kaisi called out to him, "Did the little one stop after just one round? Have you forgotten the rules you set? Dealer has to do it twice." As soon as he finished speaking, his companions understood and pressed all the money together. The bet soared to 3 million. Immediately after, Keith returned the cheating dice to the class monitor and told him to come back and gamble again. Similarly, they used their own cheat dice. Now the class monitor was completely stunned. He held the slush box and couldn't stop trembling, because if this amount were to be multiplied fivefold, he would have to pay 15 million in compensation. Just as the class monitor was about to refuse, Wang, helping the man in the suit, arrived at the scene. The man leading the group agreed with Keith's proposal. The class monitor immediately lashed out. "Who do you think you are? What right do you have to interfere with our gambling?" But when he heard that the other party was the group's second in command, the class monitor was so frightened that his whole body twisted. Next is the summary of this episode, analyzing that the class president is not ordinary cunning and cunning. After the cheating was exposed, he first lied, claiming that the first time he used the notes, he was exposed, trying to get by with twisted logic again. If the child doesn't stop, it doesn't count. Only a scoundrel like him would say such a thing. Seeing that pleading for mercy was futile, he tried to turn the tables by betting again. Every response is fabricated for self-preservation. Being a person is simply hopeless. But when facing the group's second in command, his attitude instantly shifted. It also exposes the hypocritical nature of bullying the weak rather than confronting the strong. He is a precise psychological player. He used the class monitor's cleverness to dice and not keep watch on the ball, successfully detecting whether the other party was cheating, since rashly acting would only alert them. When being pinned down and beaten by Kiao Chuang, he remained calm. After breaking free, he immediately shouted the truth. Facing the class monitor's stubbornness, he always stayed calm. Using cheat dice combined with Sanhao's notes successfully convinced everyone. He even exposed the class monitor and stepped in to stop a public angry bottle of liquor. What he wanted was not venting his anger, but to completely crush him according to the gambling rules. The opponent here demonstrates a rationality far beyond ordinary people.